Even though it's only April, the world has already lost quite a few beloved and notable people. However sad it is, this is the nature of life. All living beings shall die one day, and celebrities aren't an exception. Who joined the 27 Club this year? How did Michael Douglas and his wife pay tribute to his father Kirk? And which actress passed away at the very beginning of her career? Hi, I'm Peter, and you're watching OSSA. We're going to tell you the sad news about famous people who have already passed away this year. Harry Hains. The musician, model and actor who appeared in American Horror Story Hotel and the OA, Hains left this world on the 7th of January. He was 27 years old. His mother, Jane Badler, also an actress and singer, announced his passing on her Instagram. It's impossible to imagine how hard it is for a mother to post this kind of news. She also mentioned in her post that he struggled with mental illness and addiction. Only recently did we learn the cause of Harry's death. The coroner announced that it was due to fentanyl intoxication and ruled it accidental. Even though Hains was very young, he already had an awareness that made him seem older, as evident in the UK publication Boys by Girls. He knew what it meant to be a human and didn't identify himself with anything, not a colour, race or gender. I know that I am born male, but I don't think I represent what it means to be a man, the actor shared. I believe we should be whatever we want. It gets kind of confusing when we start labelling ourselves, so I try to stay away from labels. It's very sad when such a young, beautiful and talented human dies. As Harry's mother mentioned in her post, he had the world at his feet. Let's hope that fewer people will be joining the so-called 27 Club in the future. Rocky Johnson. That name probably seems familiar to you. And if you're into wrestling, you know that Rocky Johnson was the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Rocky, known as Soul Man in the ring, passed away on the 15th of January from a pulmonary embolism caused by a blood clot. He was 75 years old. The first one to break the sad news was Dave Meltzer, sport journalist and editor of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. He wrote on Twitter, "What horrible news. Rocky Johnson passed away, Dwayne's father. Our best to Dwayne, Ricky, Atta, and the entire family." In his turn, Dwayne paid a lovely tribute to his father. "You lived a very full, very hard, barrier-breaking life and left it all in the ring. I love you, Dad, and I'll always be your proud and grateful son." Rocky Johnson had quite a life. He worked as a professional wrestler from the mid-60s until he retired in 1991. Along with Tony Atlas, he became a legend in the world of wrestling due to being the first African-American World Tag Team Champions. And obviously, Rocky also had a hand in training his son, who later on became even more famous and carried on his father's legacy with pride. Christopher Tolkien. Wow, now this is the end of an era. The man who devoted his whole life to Middle-earth passed away on the 16th of January at the age of 95. The official Twitter account for Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings series paid their tribute. Christopher Tolkien's contributions to the world and to Middle-earth are incalculable. We are so grateful for his passion. He will be dearly missed. If the elder Tolkien spent his life creating the entire universe on the pages of his books, his son gave a lot of time to cataloguing and explicating his father's unfinished works. Christopher contributed a lot to finally publishing the Silmarillion, and he also gave a narrative account of the history of Middle-earth until the beginning of Lord of the Rings. Interestingly, even though the Lord of the Rings trilogy gained enormous success, Tolkien never liked it. In an interview with Le Monde in 2012, he criticized the movies, saying, "They gutted the book, making an action film for 15 to 25-year-olds. Too bad he never got to appreciate the work that had been done to make the trilogy what it is. I mean, they are so much more than just action films." But still, all fans of Lord of the Rings are immeasurably thankful to Christopher for completing the history of Middle-earth for us all, and for future generations. After all, it's a story that has already become a classic of world literature, isn't it? Kobe Bryant. One of the most heartbreaking deaths of 2020 happened on the 26th of January in California. The former Lakers player was traveling on his private helicopter with 8 other people, including his 13-year-old daughter. Reportedly, they crashed due to extreme fog in the area. There were no survivors. Needless to say, Kobe's friends and family, as well as his fans, were devastated to learn the shocking news. Among others, Jennifer Lopez posted, Kobe, you meant so much to so many, and we will miss you forever. Thank you for your work ethic, your inspiration, and your heart. Taylor Swift wrote that her heart is in pieces, and Chrissy Teigen said that she cannot believe this is real. And it was hard to believe. Bryant was an outstanding basketball player and a 5-time NBA champion. But as he demonstrated in recent years, he wasn't only into sports. 3 years ago, Kobe made a motion picture, Dear Basketball, that even received an Oscar for the Best Animated Short Film. Besides that, Bryant also wrote, produced, and hosted the TV series Detail in 2018. The show featured Kobe's in-depth analyses of individual players, as well as his insights into the game itself. What's more, Bryant even wrote a book, The Mamba Mentality: How I Play, about his experience as a basketball player. He managed to do so many things in only 41 years of his life. Just imagine how much more he'd have done if that helicopter didn't crash. Kirk Douglas. On the 5th of February, the Hollywood Golden Age star passed away. Douglas's cause of death was kept private, but given that he was 103, it's easy to assume that simply his time had come. Announcing the passing of his father, Michael Douglas wrote on his Instagram, "Kirk's life was well lived, and he leaves a legacy in film that will endure for generations to come, and a history as a renowned philanthropist who worked to aid the public and bring peace to the planet." Other celebs also shared their tributes to the legend. Catherine Zeta-Jones wrote, "I shall love you for the rest of my life," while Mark Hamill called him a brilliant actor with an unforgettable, blazing charisma. During his long life, Douglas achieved so much. Kirk was the legend of cinema who appeared in over 90 movies over his years as an actor. He received 3 Oscars, as well as an honorary Oscar for lifetime achievement. As Michael Douglas reminded us, he was a humanitarian whose commitment to justice and the causes he believed in set a standard for all of us. And he was also an author who wrote 10 novels and memoirs. May all of us attain at least half of what Kirk achieved in his life and live to the same age. Lynn Cohen. On the 14th of February, the veteran stage actress, aged 86, left this world due to an undisclosed reason. You might not recognize her name, but you've definitely seen her at least in 1 or 2 of her movies and TV shows. For example, in Hunger Games: Catching Fire, Cohen played Mags, Finnick's mentor and former District 4 champion. Sam Claflin, who played Finnick, apparently became good friends with the actress on set and paid a touching tribute to her on his Twitter. Posting a gif of himself carrying her, the actor wrote, "I'll carry you everywhere, always. Lots of love to you, Lynn. Bless you. R.I.P." Besides Hunger Games, Cohen was also in Sex and the City, where she played Magda, Miranda's sarcastic housekeeping nanny. Although she began appearing in the show in a non-speaking role, fans quickly liked her, and she remained in the series and later also joined the cast of both spin-off films. Cohen also played recurring characters in Law & Order Special Victims Unit, Master of None, Chicago Med, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. May Lynn rest in peace. We will remember her for her roles. Nikita Pearl Waligwa. Sadly, this girl is the youngest celebrity on this list. She passed away at the tender age of 15. Nikita combated recurring brain cancer, and on the 15th of February, the fight had a tragic ending. Nikita's career was only beginning. She played a secondary but well-remembered character in the critically acclaimed Disney movie Queen of Katwe, which also featured Lupita Nyong'o and David Oyelowo. Based on a true story, it was about Fiona, a girl from Uganda who learned to play chess and went on to become a world-renowned player and win chess championships and Olympiads. Nikita's character, Gloria, was Fiona's friend who explained the rules of the game to her. Her performance was praised by both critics and her co-stars. Following her death, the young actress's co-star David Oyelowo wrote on his Instagram, "She was a ball of light in Queen of Katwe and in life. Her battle with a brain tumor was humbling to witness. Her light will live on." The young actress had the potential to build an outstanding career, but unfortunately the universe had other plans. Max von Sydow. The tragic-faced Swedish actor died on the 8th of March at the age of 90. During his 70-year-long career, von Sydow acted in over 150 movies and a few TV series, both in Europe and the United States. Oh, what a fruitful career he had. Von Sydow began acting a long time ago, and if you're into old, thought-provoking movies, you probably remember his roles in Ingrid Bergman's The Seventh Seal, as well as The Exorcist and Dune. But even if these titles don't mean anything to you, you can see this talented actor as Lor San Tekka in Star Wars The Force Awakens and as the Three-Eyed Raven in Game of Thrones. Here's what his Game of Thrones co-star Isaac Hempstead Wright said about Von Sydow in an interview with Entertainment Weekly. There are certain lines that you think are almost fillers, lines you don't think are imperative to any kind of storytelling, like, he's over there. But when Max von Sydow says it, it's almost like it's the most important news you've ever heard. That's what people call a remarkable talent. The young generation of actors should learn from him. Kenny Rogers. On the 20th of March, the country music legend passed away in his house. He was 81 years old. Rogers' family later announced the news on Twitter and shared that he died of natural causes. His publicist, Keith Hagan, later also released an official statement on CNN. Kenny Rogers left an indelible mark on the history of American music. His songs have endeared music lovers and touched the lives of millions around the world. A lot of celebrities paid tribute to the musician and shared their grief. Among others, Lionel Richie tweeted, "So much laughter, so many adventures to remember. My heart is broken." Dolly Parton also posted, "I've had so many wonderful years and wonderful times with my friend Kenny. But above all the music and the success, I loved him as a wonderful man and a true friend." Just like Max von Sydow, Rogers had a very long career. He topped charts with over 120 hit singles and sold more than 100 million records around the world, becoming one of the best-selling music artists of all time. The country legend received 18 American Music Awards, 3 Grammys, and a place in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Pretty impressive, huh? Mark Blum. A video about celebrities who recently passed and no victims of the infamous virus that's currently marching all over the planet? No, unfortunately, it's not possible. 69-year-old Mark Blum passed away on the 26th of March from complications of coronavirus. The Playwrights Horizons production paid tribute to the late actor, saying, "Thank you, Mark, for all you brought to our theatre, and to theatres and audiences across the world. We will miss you." Madonna also shared her respects through an Instagram post. "I remember him as funny, warm, loving, and professional." The legendary singer was Blum's co-star in Desperately Seeking Susan, the movie that turned him into a celebrity. Later, the actor solidified his popularity due to his role in Crocodile Dundee, and he also made multiple appearances on TV, including in popular shows like Frasier, Law & Order, Succession, and Mozart in the Jungle. It is so sad how the virus is taking good people from us. Isn't it another reminder that we should adhere to the quarantine rules to finally beat this common enemy altogether? Although all these remarkable people left this world, their legacies will live on forever. By watching their movies, listening to their songs, and reading their books, we will preserve their legacies for the generations to come. Thank you for watching.